Welcome everyone to a commentary on the Yogasutra, and this is a commentary on the last sutra of the first chapter. There are 4 distinct chapters, and the sutras are for all these different philosophies. They are sort of the groundwork. They point you to what was discovered and more importantly, what is for you to discover. And the Yoga Sutra is about your discovery of yourself being consciousness, being universal consciousness, being awareness. And the distinction between the mind or all contents of the mind, everything that is perceivable, the world of appearances, and what you are. And one of the strongest things I want to remind you of is really this discovery of yourself being consciousness. That it also has to land for you, that you can discover yourself on that level of divinity or the absolute or consciousness, that it isn't just something that is outside of yourself or something that's not available to you as a discovery in this life. And part of the intentionality of this text is to point you back. Now, this last sutra talks about Nirbija samadhi, a state in which there are no more thoughts, like a really thoughtless state, in which then obviously there is no more object and there is no more subject, there is no filter, there is nothing that is focused on. It is pure awareness in its unmanifested state. That's why it's called Nirbija. Bija means seed. Nirbija means no more seed. And in the sutra he says, when everything, sarvam, when everything is actually in the cessation of everything, then there is a pull, you are being pulled back into pure awareness, which is thoughtless. And this is Nirbija samadhi, a samadhi that is thoughtless. I was trying to record this commentary on this last sutta actually already twice. And every time I wanted to speak, I was just actually pulled back into silence, as there is nothing to be actually really said. And it is about you resting as the stillness that you are, as the changeless stream of consciousness that you are. And what is maybe nice to know, or what is helpful to know for you, that it is like this with realization. And it is like this with this complete silence. It isn't something that is attained. It is it is also then that you are being pulled. You are being taken in by consciousness. The witnessing agent of it, the witnessing consciousness, has become so strong. Your abiding asat has become strong enough that consciousness actually takes you in. Even though this is also just a description, because there is no real separate self that is taken in, but you are simply then pulled back into this. And you can also be then pulled back into silence. You're then really there's literally there is then just silence that is present. So there is also an automatism that starts to happen as you start to become more firm again in your remembrance of yourself as consciousness or as this witnessing awareness. So he ends this chapter on samadhi, which is this absorption. And so that's maybe then also nice for you to know what absorbs what. In the beginning, you feel you as the separate self absorbs objects. Objects start to become revealed in you. The non-separate nature of reality starts to be revealed in you, but you feel still very, very individualized or separate. And then there are these states in which the non-separate reality shows itself. But actually, what is reabsorbed is the idea, the sense of self. That's reabsorbed into the ocean of consciousness, into yourself as awareness. So that's then total absorption. And there is neither the sense of I that is evaluating, nor is there any outside object. It's just a thoughtless state of pure awareness. And a lot of the ancient masters or ancient teachers, they were actually transmitting, you could say, even though it isn't even a transmission happening, but they were just abiding as silence, just remaining silent to because the moment you speak, actually, you're always referencing of something within the mind. You're always trying to point to something beyond the mind by the help of words. And words always fail, and words are then always interpreted depending on what you know about stillness or abiding or awareness, what depending on what kind of ideas you have around those. But silence in its purity has a different way of allowing silence that's already present within you to come more to the foreground. To help you find this dimension of yourself. And so in this last sutta, he talks about thoughtlessness, no more object that appears as a perception, and no more subject that filters, evaluates, puts into context, describes, gives meanings. Just the ocean of pure awareness. That is always also already here. So at the end of this first chapter, take a moment to rest as and in the stillness that is already here. Namaste.